What is up, my little Danos? Vepsisi, your gods of the Helsinki Hydreigas, and we are here for the Week 3 battle for the low tier Mayhem when I go up against Fizz. And this is gonna be the first time I believe I get to play him. Make sure to check him out. His YouTube channel will be down below in the description, as well as all of the coaches in the league. Going into this, we have declared our Terra types. For my behalf, it will be Armoroots with Terra Fairy. Going into this game. And he decided that, you know what, my Rhyperior will be a Dwagon today. So it's gonna be Terra Dwagon Rhyperior that I'm facing today, besides all the other offensive setup threats that he brings, potentially. And Primarina that I don't have a switching to, frankly. If he brings it, then I would assume it's there. Alright. So we see Overquill, we see Duraludon, we see Primarina, Breloom, and Poltergeist. The last two Pokemon definitely will put a lot of pressure to my Mandibuzz, which I need to be cautious of going into this. But besides all that, I believe we just lead with Goodra, because it's the dedicated lead with a weakness policy holding on it. We are running Trico, Meteor, Thunderbolt, Power Whip, and Knockoff. If I see like a Primarina as a lead, I can go for a Knockoff, assuming it's not Choice Scarf. I outpace it and I'll take the Moonblast and proc the weakness policy. Versus everything else, I should be pretty free to click Draco Meteor on and just go for a big hit with it. So that's gonna be the game plan going into this, and we just have to figure out and see, frankly, what Fizz wants to do as his lead. He has a tendency that he can be very unpredictable when it comes to like how he approaches his week-to-week basis. Sometimes he may pull off his sets out of just straight up from Smoke on a Pokemon Calculator and rolls with them. Sometimes he decides that, you know what, I wanna run like 3 weakness policies bare minimum on his team, and you really cannot really tell which kind of mode he is on each day. So I expect the unexpected one way or another from his side, but we have to wait and see, find out how this goes. Hopefully it will go well for us and we can continue to remain the undefeated, or one of the undefeated teams in the league, as he leads up with the Duraludon, which means that I should be able to take one hit, because I'm a Goodra after all, and I just want to damage this thing, quite frankly. I know it outpaces me, which is why I don't want to go for like Knockoff first to remove Eviolite off the chance he just hits me. So I'll just press a Draco Meteor. He could go for Stealth Rocks, because that's often what he tends to do, especially considering his Rhyperior is the other rocker, and it might be the setup option. Okay, I'm faster than it, and I just blow it back right from the turn 1. Okay, cool. So unless the Rhyperior is packing Stealth Rocks, we're looking quite good. And now I imagine what could happen is that he goes into Primarina, which I would love to see in front of me. Because then I can knock off and follow it up with a weakness policy boosted Power Whip into its way. And basically beat it 1v1 that way. If he goes into Rhyperior, I might immediately react and go into my Gastrodon to yarn it. Because I'm -2 right now. Okay, there's the Primarina. Okay, so we knock this off and follow it off with a Power Whip afterwards. No thinking on this, we remove the potential boosting item or Assault Vest. Assault Vest could definitely be also that he could bring, since I have something like Armoroots that could very well be threatening to his team and every other team in the league. But we knock it off, we remove a Assault Vest, okay. So he'll go for the Moonblast, we should take this just fine as we do, and the weakness policy is procced. This also means, cool enough, that now my Draco Meteors are back to neutral, and my attack stat is now gained by 2 stages. We have Timid Nature, but I wanna say this Power Whip still kills, because now we are +2. So we just go for that. And after the Primarina is dead to this Power Whip, Goodra has done an amazing job taking out 2 Pokemon right from the get-go as a lead, and you love to see it, because the first 2 weeks I've been running kinda like very boring, special defensive Goodras out of necessity, and they work perfectly fine, and we just land the Power Whip, and all the Goodra Primarina leaves, excuse me. But you know what, that's amazing damage for me still. So I'll definitely take that. Now, how do I wanna revenge kill you? It might just be Armoroots and lock myself into Terra Blast Fairy, because that prevents like Rhyperior to really do anything in front of me. Yeah, and I can deal with Overkill easily, because I can swap into it and go into Gastrodon if needed to and get up my hazard, so... I think that's how I'll choose to go about this. Keep a mon in the field that makes sure the Rhyperior doesn't get out of hand. Is really what I just want to do here. So we just Terra Fairy and Terra Blast Fairy here, because he doesn't have a Fairy Resist on his entire roster, including also what he brought. So we should be able to pop this Primarina right from the get-go, after being weakened significantly by Goodra. In a way, I wish I ran like a hasty nature over timid nature, because then I would have been able to take it out, but maybe this is the best case scenario that I get my Terra Fairy Armor Roots out in the field, and now he has to respond to it. Primarina is dead, and we are up by 2. But he has a lot of Pokemon that can straight up set up and win, so we are not out of the woods by any means at all. But we are having a good start at very least. And now we are up by... Well, we are up by 1 because Goodra is dead, but we'll definitely take that. I would imagine this puts him in a position that he kinda has to go into Overclock, and then he can choose to attack me with a poison move, or he tries to go for spikes. That's really what I can mainly see happening. But it gives me the same opportunity with my Gastrodon, and my Gastrodon has both spikes and Stealth Rocks. But versus this team particularly, spike stacking is the priority, because there's nothing weak to Stealth Rocks anymore. And frankly, 2 things actually resist Stealth Rocks, so spikes are more value to me right now. If he goes into Prelumen or Poltergeist, I always have Mandibles to respond to them, and I have 4 play to hit each of them. Well, Poltergeist particularly. But he does go into Overquill, as I kind of figured it's Intimidate. And Gastrodon is our immediately response now. And get up some spikes for me. I have Yarn to make sure that nothing can really set up versus me too well. And I wanna say, even if this is a Sword Dance set, I should take 1 from full. And react accordingly, go for Earth Power after. And we also have Choice Scarf indeed in the back, hopefully some necessary speed control if we really need it to, and block potential like Aqua Jet priority or Mach Punch priority that he could have here. But he goes for the spikes. Fair enough. Do I mind that too much necessary, like letting him getting all these spikes up? Probably not too much. I think I'm better off just getting up my own spikes and have this in the field and yawn if I have to. So I'll get up my spike. He could go into Prelume right now, but I want to get up a layer of hazard myself too. Yeah, especially in a case that if he chooses to swap, he could have focus sizes on both Poltergeist or Prelume. One of them I could definitely see having them, so be able to break those is also nice. And we just go from there. I must say, I do love, like, I watched few Physis videos, got too familiar with him. He's a lot larger YouTube channel than really I can say, or Addison who is watching from the background, or anybody else in the Draft League format. He has a very big YouTube channel. Addison doesn't like... Addison doesn't like that I'm blaming, but I've been reasonable about it. Like, this is pretty big name on his heydays. We go for Jan in front of this Rhyperior. Hey, I was mean to myself. I'm the smallest YouTube channel in this household. I don't like how Gastrodon has to look at this Rhyperior. I feel like my Gastrodon, my Goopy is a little intimidated by this Rhyperior, the way he has to look at it. Be like, oh my god. Can you go away? Oh god, it's turned into a dragon. Don't worry, Goopy, you just gotta yawn it and hopefully it doesn't get too scary. You just it is. Jesus Christ. I do like Rhyperior as a Terra. Like it. Big Pokemon with Terralization, they look so intimidating. Oh, this is Stealth Rocks. Okay. You know what? That's probably fine by me, because I can do the same thing to you as well. This means it probably isn't like Dual Dance, I wanna say. So now I've gotten that up, and do I just go for Earth Power, or do I get up another layer of Spikes? I feel like Spikes is still better if he chooses to swap out into Prelume because of the Yanis being up. And that can open up my Revaroom or any of my other Pokemon in the back to do work. So I think I proceed to get up my hazards as well. And kind of like start punishing him for the potentially start having to swap back and forth. And the Only mon that really can threaten my Cascadon right now is Breloom, which I have Mandibus for, which is holding heavy duty boots. So the hazards that he's set up will eventually start affecting me, of course, but they won't be affecting as soon as they start to affect him. And hopefully by the time that I have to send up my other Pokemon that aren't wearing boots, they're just there to stay and just do as much damage as possible. He does have to withdraw, so he doesn't have Lumberry or Sleep Talk on it. And there comes the Breloom. And we potentially broke the Focus Sash. And the scary part about this that I do want to be a little cautious of, if this is like SD Rock Tomb and then he has the Poltergeist in the back. So let me check this real quick. +2 Rock Tomb would do a decent amount to my Mandibus. It could be putting me to the point that I don't want to deal with it per se. But if he asks these, it will tell me it's going for a Rock Tomb. So at that point I probably would have to swap into my Elmo, funnily enough. Because I need to make sure my Mandibus is at full. Or at least doesn't take that like 76% potentially from Rock Tomb. So we go into Mandibus now just to see what he does. We are over Coda Knight, over Weak Armor, even though I've been loving Weak Armor on the first 2 weeks. It is SD. Okay. So I do need to be cautious of the Rock Tomb. How much my Armor Roots takes from this? It does take quite a hefty chunk. It could be something that I need to consider, that I need to utilize. I do have actually you with Clear Armor. And Rock Tomb kinda lowered my speed. Am I currently faster than the Breloom? Okay. So I have a couple of options there. I need to keep this thing at high health. Maybe I use Jeremy here actually. I need to keep this Mandibus at full health because the Poltergeist is there. So I'm kinda annoyed that I need to deal with it this way. Yeah, here comes the Rock Tomb. But the speed drop will not happen thanks to our Clear Armor that we are holding into our Jeremy. We go for a Gunk Shot. If Jeremy has to go down, so be it. But I do need to make sure the Mandibus is not broke down, so I'm not vulnerable for Shell Smash Poltergeist late game. Now we just go for a Gunk Shot. If Jeremy goes down here to Mach Punch, then we proceed and go into our Armor Roots afterwards. Yeah, he does have Bulldoze, so he's Jolly Nature on it. So he's probably not Mach Punch then, which would make sense. So we go into Armor Roots. And I'm pretty sure my Armor Roots is because it's timid nature or whatnot. There's no way in the universe this thing outpaces me. And Terra Blast Fairy will take you out, and I'm hitting everything else with it. Like, massive amount of damage. I think in hindsight, the regret was that I didn't double on the... when he was 4-star with the Rhyperior and going to Breloom. Or simply just gone for a Yan in front of it, knowing that he has to SD. I think though, that's kind of like the 1-2 plays that I looked at that, in hindsight, I could have done a lot better, but it's not still the worst case in the world. The worst case scenario would have been that I allowed the Mandibus to take damage. Then I would have, like, generally been in a worse spot than I am now. So I'm glad that I recognized that mistake, and now Breloom is dead. And now I still have my Mandibus at full health, which is keeping me safe from Poltergeist. I have my Gastrodon to deal with the Overkill relatively well. We have the Citrus Berry still as a formal way to recover. And I think can Yan versus anything, including the Poltergeist, to make sure that it's not getting out of hand. So now, the main thing that we just really need to make sure that we can get around that Poltergeist. And I wanna say it doesn't really get anything that should be able to touch Mandibus too hard. The worst case scenario, I could see that he has Will-O-Wisp. to weaken my foreplay, but that's really there is to it. I'm gonna keep this thing alive, because this thing can just outright nuke and kill the Rhyperia for me. So I'll use the Cascodon here as a form of swapping. He can go for another layer spikes, he may go a poison move, hitting the thing what is in front of him. And honestly here Earth Power is relatively free to follow it up. He does go for the Gunk Shot, which we take just fine. He does poison me, but that might mean that I get a Citrus Berry as I take the chip damage. Yeah. Which, I guess I'll... At this point I kinda take, cause now I'm gonna be slightly higher amount of health that I should have been, but that will rack up eventually on me. But Cascodon should not be in a vulnerable spot to deal with the other things, so now I just Earth Power, hit what is in front of me. And versus everything else I can just yawn and make sure that they are not getting out of hand. Alright, he proceeds to just attack me, which is perfectly fine, but this damage is important, because now even in DD... Oh, I got a crit, that's nice. And we proc Citrus Berry as well, yeah. I've seen him running that item as well on this Overquill every now and then, so that makes sense. So now I just go for another Earth Power, let this thing go down. Okay. So that means Cascodon goes down. The Overquill is still alive. And my place here is just simply go into my Indeedies and click Hyper Voice. That gives the potential free setup opportunity for the Poltergeist. But that's a bit basically something I cannot really avoid right now, because I cannot like go into my armor roots. Attempt to revenge skill this thing, because this could outpace me. I don't know his speed per se. He could be running more speed to outpace me. He doesn't know necessarily that if I'm gonna be choiced or not either. I'm naturally just faster than him, which is just giving me a chance to come in here somewhat freely. He can try to, I guess, hard call it and go into hard into Poltergeist, but that ideally shouldn't matter a whole lot. Yeah, he does stay in, which means the Overquill will go down. He doesn't know per se that I'm choiced. He may presume that I am, because it would make a lot of sense. Based on the fact that I didn't bring my Inteleon, and me not bringing it does mean that my team is naturally relatively slow compared to his in some aspects. So he can make an educated guess even regardless of the fact that I naturally outpaced the Overquill, that I could still be Scarf. Yeah, there comes the Poltergeist, as I kind of figured he would do. And I'll just respond to it accordingly and go into my Mandibles. I don't want to stay in and just keep pressing Hyper Voice and try to call him doing a double. So I just respond what is in front of me. And the more times he would start to make doubles, the less opportunity he has actually set up on anything, because he's just getting worn down, and frankly then he would just die to go for a Cell Smash. He does withdraw, making the double. And goes into Rhyperior. Now, frankly, I am pretty sure I do outpace this, and we see that it's leftover, so I don't have to think of, like, Choice Scarf or anything. Now, which one of my... I think Armarouts is better off to stay alive and revenge this Rhyperior. Because I don't think Indeedee Guarantee can kill it. Let me see. Rhyperior, like, Stealth Rock, Solid Armor, Terra Dragon. Indeedee doesn't get the job done. Armarouts. Terra Blast would do like 75. That's not quite in range. Is there a universe that I can just go in a way that the Poltergeist cannot set up anymore? I think Indeedee late game could provide that. So I could honestly just stay in here and go for foul play. and let this thing go down, so indeed he can set up and sweep. I think that's how we go about. That was a crit. But because the Poltergeist already has taken those spikes, I wanna say indeed late game can pull this off. And I'm pretty sure armor roots eventually with just Psy Shocks and whatnot, or armor cannons. Well, not armor cannon, it would be like psychic, I guess, at this point. I think I'll go for a roost off the chance he misses. If he has these, I know my foreplay will do more. Because I do also have a normal type, which prevents like Ghost Stab to go crazy on me late game. He does go for Stone Edge and misses. And now I just go for foreplay again, just making sure that this thing will die to whatever move I choose to lock into. That also prevents the Poltergeist from winning. Another foreplay goes off. We are getting below half with it. Stone Edge lands. We take it fine. And we go for... Going for a roost also covers him making any kind of double. While Mandibus is being low and try to win that way. Because as long as I'm in a high health... If he chooses to make a swap, I'll be fine in front of it. And the lower this Rhyperior gets, the easier it gets for me to choose what I lock myself into. He does swap. Because in this case, like if I didn't roost and he went for Poltergeist, that could have been the end of me. So this is where we just roost and go for a foreplay. Just straight up foreplay. If he sells masses, he's just, you know, sending himself to death, essentially. It does scary late game, because I have to be on my toes. Not literally, but in mindset-wise, I kind of have to be to make sure that the Poltergeist is not in a position to do Cells Mass while I'm at my vulnerable states, allow it to, like, get me on a rough moment. He does go for a Shadow Ball straight out. Doesn't do anything, because we are Mandibus after all, and foreplay goes off. And it's almost dead. He does get the weak armor boost, but frankly it shouldn't matter. So we just go for another foreplay. Dark Pulse. Okay, I guess it's the Indeedee cover, it's fair enough. I wasn't just expecting to see it. I guess that there's always a chance to try to flinch me with it, but okay. And there comes the Rhyperior. The only thing that could screw me over if this is like last move Rock Polish. So I think instead of worry about trying to play for 3-0, I'll secure the win by taunting it. So no Rock Polish comes off at least. If he kills me, so be it. I can just claim this with another one. Cool. Oh, we dodged it. Fantastic, Korpikotka. We are just gonna be foreplay sweeping. This is gonna be maybe a slower burning route to do this, but we'll take what we can. And honestly, assuming that the case will be that we would win this game, which I would like to say that it's more likely now, with Poltergeist going down and this Mon being last. In a hindsight, the regret was just playing too passively, allowing the Breloom to come in as safely as it did, because it did cost me a little bit of resources for this late game. But I was able to regain the focus and make sure that, alright, this is what I need to do to make sure I'm not vulnerable for Poltergeist late game. And if I let that Breloom hit me with a Rock Tomb, I would have been fucked, essentially. There was nothing I could have done about it. I'll go for a taunt again. I'm not gonna play around with the defense, so I just want to secure the win. I don't want to see a last effort Rock Polish coming here and then, you know, this video would like age horribly when I say that this should be a victory. Oh, cool. Mandibus, you're doing fantastic stuff. Every time we go for a taunt and we are birds of death, like screaming out our lives to stay alive, You just dodge that stone as you pick. Ah, that's fine. I'll just, you know, little wiggle. Move a little bit to the left. It's good. We are dodging this shit. He might be wondering why am I even bothering to taunt him, which is fair enough, but like, frankly, like, I don't know his last move at all. I have literally no idea, and literally, if he just had the rock polish to click, like I've been saying, I could still lose to it, so we just keep going. Alright. Alright, he reveals the last move, I don't have to worry about rock polish. Thank you. I appreciate that, Fizz. Hopefully you understand why I was doing that, or you're just frankly pissed at looking at that bird, which frankly, fair enough, I would be annoyed by looking at Mandibus for that long, just roosting, fall planing and taunting me. That's fair enough. Kopikotka, you did fantastic job, but we make this quick and efficient. Finally. And our Elmo, the Armorous, is gonna be able to go for Terra Blast Fairy. Who needs to draft that fucking fairy type when you have a fucking open Terra Armorous, aka Elmo, the most beautiful fairy you can draft. And Skadam. That thing is dead. And that is good game to face. Make sure to check him out. He's obviously a lot bigger channel than I am and a big following. So in a way it's a cool opportunity. And one of these opportunities that first got me playing Wi-Fi scene and doing upload is to play people like him who are very well known. More to others than perhaps not, because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't actually followed Fizz's content, but I heard about how he's been able to make name of himself. He's similar to Hayden, who does these quick, fun battles that people tune in to watch, and he's honestly, unintentionally funny guy to watch, so what I've been able to see, and Addison would agree with that too, what I've been watching, so make sure to check him out. Week 4 battle will be up against, I'm trying to remember this time, who did I play week 4? I play Obo week 4, which I wanna say I have played him before, but it's been so freaking long I cannot remember when. It's been a long time coming to play him, and he has a Terra Iron Thorns as his round 1 pick. So that's gonna be something for me to prepare for and be spooked about that. But until then, thank you for watching, and I'm gonna be seeing you guys later.